everybody, Ryan Harris here from musculodevelopment.com. Coverage of the Toronto Pro Super Show brought to you by High Tech Pharmaceuticals. Giving you my little wrap-up of last night. It's going to be quick. I'm only going to talk about 212 and open. 212 division, very, very competitive. More competitive than I thought it was going to be. Third place guy, they only gave out awards for top three last night, was Mahmoud Al-Dura from Quebec. I believe he's originally from Iran. And Mahmoud looked amazing. I think you could have made an argument for Mahmoud winning. He's that good. He's got everything. Great shape, mass. His condition was right there. And a lot of people were scratching their heads like, why isn't this guy fighting for the win? You know, I really can't say. He was definitely good enough. He's in the top three, and had he even won the show, I don't think there would have been too many people upset, except for the 80% of the crowd that was screaming Watson, Watson, Watson. They probably would have been all upset. So it did come down, just like we thought after the judging during the day, between Zane Watson and Cody Montgomery. Cody, of course, was making his comeback to the stage. He hadn't been competing since March of 2016 when he had done two shows as an open bodybuilder, the Arnold Classic in Ohio, then the Arnold Classic in Australia. We didn't really know what to expect from Cody because he had switched over to Classic, or so he was saying. It must have been a last-minute decision. Went over to 212. Proved to be the right call as far as I'm concerned. He's definitely more of a bodybuilder. Doesn't have what I would consider a classic shape. And a lot of the guys competing in Classic really don't have that classic shape. They're really just bodybuilders who happen to be able to make that weight cutoff. But Cody's he's a very good 212 guy. Phenomenal legs. He brought the condition. What hurt him a little bit going against Zane, I really think it came down to presentation. They were very, very evenly matched, size-wise, condition. But Zane really knows how to present his physique and show things off, where Cody's a little bit awkward. Now, some of that probably does have to do with Cody being away for a couple of years, and even then, Cody had only done 2 pro shows, and he was 20 years old when he turned pro, so he doesn't have a lot of stage time. Most of Cody's competitions were done when he was just a teenager, so he didn't really have to be a master at presentation and posing to do as well as he did back then. But all that being said, props to Cody. He came in looking great. A lot of guys in his position would have either messed up the condition or tried to come in too big and full. Cody didn't do that. So Zane Watson, very rightful, deserving winner. Crowd went crazy. He brought his son up on stage after he won. It was a touching moment. Like I said, he's a hometown guy. He's from nearby, so he had a ton of people in the audience supporting him. Open division, when things got really interesting. So we thought, because Cedric McMillan jumped in at the last minute, and Cedric has a great track record. He's an Arnold Classic champion. He's one of the greats when he's in shape. So we thought he was going to give Juan Morel a lot of trouble at this show. It turns out he didn't. It turns out he wasn't fully prepared for this competition at all. I was very close, so I could see the lack of conditioning. And I would say Cedric needed another 6 weeks minimum to really be in that crisp condition that he would have needed to nail something like this down. So Juan Morel obviously was a heavy favorite. He had just won, he took second at the New York Pro 2 weeks ago. Did not go out to California Pros. Nathan Dasher won both of those. So he was saving up for this one, and he brought the condition. Wow. He had a lot of detail, a lot of graininess. His legs from the side were phenomenally separated, splintered, striated. A lot going on. He was big, full, crisp. Some people were saying based on shots that they saw, they weren't satisfied with it, but that's the quality of the pictures. I think once the high-resolution images were posted, people changed their minds. They saw Juan Morel did bring the condition. But he had a very, very rough time with Akim Williams. Akim Williams out of New Jersey. This is a guy with all the size, shape, structure you would ever want to see. He's a massive man. Problem up until last night was that he's never really brought that condition that we wanted. He's been that guy that I've been saying for years. Everybody's been saying, oh, if he ever shows up in shape, I feel like a parrot saying that. I've been saying that over and over again for a few years now. Didn't ever expect this to ever happen. Walks out last night in the judging and everybody's jaw dropped. Akim was in shape. Come to find out, he sucked down to 248 pounds, which is about 20-25 pounds less than what he normally competes at. And it definitely paid off. He looked amazing. Best I've ever seen him by far. He was pushing one very hard. Judges had been going back and forth with the comparisons. And it was very, very close battle. I think it could have gone either way. Personally, I would have probably leaned toward Akim. Like I said, it was close. Juan walked away with it. Cedric got third. Rightfully so, I'm really not so sure. Condition-wise, the way he looked, as good as Cedric is, and I'm a Cedric fan, I love his physique, but I would have had him past the guys who were 4th and 5th. Based on that, I mean, you can't just walk into a show, any show at this level, you glide by on your shape and your mass and your proportions and all that. So, 3rd place is what Cedric ended up with. I probably would have shifted him down a few. 4th place was a huge surprise, Antoine Vallant. Antoine has not been seen on stage since 2013. He only did 2 pro shows in 2013. Those are the only 2 he's ever done because he had turned pro the year before winning the Canadians. So Antoine had been 14th place at either New York Pro or here and didn't place at the other show or at the Toronto. So he did not have a very auspicious beginning as a pro 5 years ago. Went away for a few years. He had some battles and everyone's familiar with what Antoine's been through. And speculation, how's Antoine going to do? He's too small for this. He should drop down to Classic. He heard all kinds of talk. But let me tell you, when he walked out there, he did not look small at all. I believe he was in the 240s. And was he as massive as Juan and Akim? No. But amazing shape. He brought the condition. He's an excellent poser. He had the crowd on his feet. Antoine, a lot of people argued could have been ahead of Cedric. Antoine could have been 3rd. He was that good. So I'm so happy to see Antoine turning things around and especially making such a big splash at the Toronto Super Show. He's also going to go on to the Vancouver. I hope he does very well there too. And you know, congratulations to Antoine. You look great. This is just the start. Everyone's rooting for you. Everybody was happy. It's one of those stories out of a movie where you're just so happy for the kid. You're so happy to see him do that well because he's been through so much. Last guy I'll talk about is 5th place, Rafael Brandão from Brazil. Another young guy. Rafael's only 25 years old, I believe. Rafael's another guy with very, very nice shape, structure, very pretty body. He's put on a good amount of mass since he started competing as a pro just last fall. He did sacrifice the condition, and the waist is just starting to get a little thicker. Just starting to. You know, Giles has talked about concern over this kid because he does have such a beautiful physique that if he tries to rush things, or if people around him try to advise him to rush things and get really big really fast, he could blow out that midsection. He could ruin the real pretty shape and lines that he has. But the one thing that stood out last night was he just didn't bring that condition that I saw from him last fall at the San Marino Pro. Had he done that, he probably could have gone up a couple spots. 5th place was definitely as good as I would have put him. But a bright future for the kid, as long as he doesn't try to play the size game and give up the condition. He needs to be in shape. A physique like that needs to be super conditioned to really show it off perfectly. So that's all. We're going to move on today to the finals for a few other divisions. So that's been my recap. 212 and open bodybuilding here. Toronto Pro Super Show from MuscleDevelopment.com. Coverage brought to you by High Tech Pharmaceuticals. Thanks for watching.